Hey guys, Kako297 again, this time with a review of the Zeta Gundam Bust / Action Base. For colors, it's pretty simple, just plain white. However, I do have to point out that the color separation is pretty nice. For example, the vents on the inside there that have to be painted gray are separate from his armor parts, making it a lot easier to paint. Same goes for his eyes, they are separate from the rest of his face mask. So once again, easier to paint. And finally, his camera here is also separate from the armor, making it once again easier to paint. So it might not be as hard to paint as you might think. Then articulation, because surprise surprise, this thing actually has some articulation. The head goes up, down, side to side. It's on a ball joint, so we'll do everything a ball joint does. And even more surprising and also gimmicky is the V-fins actually transform. And for some reason, there's also a little bit forwards and backwards movement. I guess that is to facilitate the movements of his V-fins. So yeah, it's gimmicky, it's nice. Now, on to, of course, the most important part of this thing. How does it work as a stand? Normally, when you have a stand, you simply move these around, but as you can see, they're not going anywhere. Because what you have to do is you rip it apart, and then you can see there are little indents here in which these will fit. So every time you want to adjust the angle, you have to rip it apart and put it back together again. It might be a bit of an inconvenience, but when you think about it, this is probably the most secure way to put a model on it. But then again, 144 scale kits aren't really all that heavy. So yeah, I guess this is also the cheapest way to make the articulation. So yeah, it's partially good, partially bad, but in the end, it's still a bit of an inconvenience. But hey, what can we really expect from a magazine freebie? So, as a stand, it's very sturdy. Let's keep it at that. Then we get to how do you put models on it? Well, the end is exactly the same as Bandai's small action bases, so you can attach any attachment you can attach to those. Meaning, well, pretty much every 144 scale kit will be able to be mounted on this little thingy here. But then again, you do not get an attachment, so don't buy just this and then buy a random 144 scale kit you want to put on it. Because only real grades and those remaster ones come with their own attachments. So let's put a model kit on it. And I know, technically I should be putting the real grade Zeta Gundam on it because this little action base was designed for him. But I'm not gonna, because I have something a lot more impressive than the real grade Zeta, the Zeta C1. This guy could transform over 20 years ago. So excuse me while I'm not all that impressed with the actually quite fragile transformation of the real grade. So in my opinion, this guy deserves this stand a lot more. There we go. As you can see, it's very sturdy. Because of course there is quite a bit of weight to this kit because there's so much plastic involved. So now, well, technically I would ask, do you want to buy this? But since this is already a discontinued kit, the real question should be, do you still want to go out of your way to buy this? Because they're probably fetching quite a nice price on eBay now. Well, it's a very nice little thing, and it's also very detailed. So, for a magazine freebie, this is pretty amazing, to be honest. You get a little bit of articulation, like I said, it looks amazing, and it works great as an action base. So, well, if you're a big fan of the Zeta Gundam and you want a nice stand for any one of your 144 scale Zeta Gundams, then you might want to spend a little bit extra effort to still get this. However, if you're not too a too big fan of the Zeta Gundam, well, yeah, you're probably just going to waste your money. So, well, that's all for this review. Have nice holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever you're celebrating, and see you at the next review.